Okay.
Hi guys, I'm here with your Bible reading. Wanted to show you what it was doing here today. We're supposed to have a big winter storm. Well, it just started snowing here about probably 10 minutes ago. Sherm just got home probably about that time. He had an appointment today. So the birds are hitting the feeders pretty hard today. Maybe we'll get some pretty pictures sometime. But I just wanted to show you guys what I was doing here in Ohio. Hi Sandy, hi Rosie. I don't know what it's doing there in New Jersey. You guys got snow today, or have you had snow? We've got a big winter storm coming. I don't know about you guys. But hopefully we all keep power, because they say AEP is expecting a lot of power outages and they're preparing for a lot of outages. So I'm really hoping it can snow all at once as long as we keep power. I don't really care. I just worry about the people that have to go out in it though, you know. All the schools were closed today. Even the big college was closed because of the storm coming. Okay. Let's get started with Matthew, guys. Matthew chapter 14. We'll be reading verses 13 through verse 36. And we are going to start with Jesus feeds the 5,000. You're like, how in the world can Jesus feed 5,000 people? Was Jesus rich? Jesus was far from rich. He was rich in spirit, but he was not rich with money. Jesus didn't have a place to lay his head. So let's see how Jesus fed the 5,000, shall we? When Jesus heard what had happened, and we're referring to, remember, yesterday John the Baptist, he had just found out that John the Baptist had been beheaded and killed. So that's what it's referring to. When Jesus heard what had happened, he withdrew by boat privately to a solitary place. Hearing of this, the crowds followed him on foot from town to town. Then Jesus landed and saw a large crowd. He had compassion on them and healed their sick. See, even though he was hurting, he didn't worry about about himself. He worried. He had compassion on the others who were there to see him and who were sick and wanted to be healed and be taught. So he had compassion on them and helped them instead, of course. As evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food." Jesus replied, "They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat." "We have here only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish," they answered. "Bring them here to me," Jesus said. And he directed the people to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. They all ate and were satisfied. And the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. The number of those who ate was about 5,000 men, besides women and children. So what do you think of that? Do you believe that? I believe every word of it. Our Father in heaven blessed, Jesus blessed the bread, and God gave enough for everybody, more than enough for everybody. Just got to have faith like Jesus had faith. And they all ate that day and were satisfied. over 5,000 people. So it was 5,000 just for men. Plus they had the women and children. Now, we're going to talk about something. You're going to be like, well, how did he do this? Well, you got to have faith, and you just got to believe. Jesus walks on water. Like, how can anybody walk on water? Well, Jesus is the Son of God. He can do whatever he wants to, and he has faith. And you'll see, Jesus wasn't the only one that walked on water at this time. But you'll see what happened when you lose your faith. Immediately, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, Jesus went up to a mountainside by himself to pray. He did that a lot. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. Can you imagine? But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it is you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," Jesus said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But he lost his faith. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me!" Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." When they had crossed over, they landed at Gennesaret. How do you say that, Sherm?
I don't know.
Gennesaret. Sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And when the men of that place recognized Jesus, they sent word to all the surrounding country. People brought all their sick to them and begged him to let the sick just touch the edge of his cloak, and all who touched it were healed. Just like the woman who was bleeding for 12 years, remember that? And Jesus asked who had touched him because he had felt the power drain from him, just from her touching that cloth from the outfit that was on him. And she admitted to it, and he said, because she had believed so strongly that would happen, she would be cured, and she was from that minute on. We are going to continue on with Psalm 18 today, and I believe, I'm not positive, but I believe we are finishing up Psalm 18 today with reading verses 35 through 50. I believe this should be the end of Psalm 18. You make your saving help my shield, and your right hand sustains me. Your help has made me great. You provide a broad path for my feet, so that my ankles do not give way. I pursued my enemies and overtook them. I did not turn back till they were destroyed. I crushed them so that they could not see. They fell beneath my feet. You armed me with strength for battle. You humbled my adversaries before me. You made my enemies turn their backs in flight, and I destroyed my foes. They cried for help, but there was no one to save them. To the Lord, but he did not answer. They cried for help, but there was no one to save them. To the Lord, but he did not answer. I beat them as fine as wind-blown dust. I trampled them like mud in the streets. You have delivered me from the attacks of the people. You have made me the head of the nations. People I did not know now serve me. Foreigners cower before me. As soon as they hear of me, they obey me. They are loose heart. They come trembling from their strongholds. The Lord lives. Praise be to my rock. Exalted be my Savior. He is the God who avenges me, who subdues nations under me, who saves me from my enemies. You exalted me above my foes. From a violent man you rescued me. Therefore I will praise you, Lord, among the nations. I will sing the praises of your name. He gives his king great victories. He shows unfailing love to his anointed, to David, and to his descendants forever. And that, of course, was another Psalm of David. And that is where we're stopping with Psalm 18, which I believe should be the end of Psalm 18. And we're going, snow's really coming down out there. And we're going on to Proverbs here to end the Bible video today. With Proverbs chapter 4, we'll be reading verses 11 through verse 13. I instruct you in the way of wisdom and lead you along straight paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to instruction. Do not let it go. Guard it well, for it is your life. Okay guys, that was our Bible reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it touched your guys' hearts. I have not heard any updates on Chris today. If I hear any major updates, which I pray to God, Father, they are good updates when we get one, please continue to pray for Christopher Sirback, because you know he really needs our prayers. If I get any major updates, I will let you guys know. And if it's just like a little update, I will just let you guys know in tomorrow's video. And the snow is really pouring down out there now. Can you zoom in on that, Sherm? You guys got to see this real quick before we sign out. Can you guys see that? Can you see that, Sherm? Look at that, guys. They're calling this Storm Jonah.
Oh.
So they're expecting a lot of snow here. We shall see, I guess. We shall see. Well, guys, I'll sign off by letting you guys look at the snow. Let's bring those souls to Jesus. I hope you guys stay warm and have a great weekend. Let's bring those souls to Jesus again, and God willing, I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible reading if we still have power. Bye, guys. God bless.